Minor Prophets, Joel, the Day of the Lord, chapter 2:28 through 3:21, Lesson 2. Introduction. In this lesson we shall complete our survey of Joel by reading 2:28 through 3:21, and with attention to the prophetic element of this passage, B. Offering comments concerning its interpretation. Joel's prophecy of the future. A. What shall come to pass afterward? Chapter 2:26 through 32. 1. God's Spirit will be poured out on all flesh. 2:28 through 29. 2. Wonders in heaven and earth to appear before the coming of the day of the Lord. 2:30 through 31. 3. There shall be deliverance in Mount Zion and Jerusalem. 2:32. B. What shall occur in those days? 3:1 through 17. 1. God will judge all nations on account of his people. 3:1 through 3. 2. Specifically mentioned are Tyre, Sidon, and Philistia. 3:4 through 8. A. Who had mistreated God's people. B. Who shall be treated as they treated others. 3. The nations are called to do battle. 3:9 through 12. A. Prepare for war. B. Come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, where the Lord will judge the nations. 1. Jehoshaphat means God shall judge. 2. The valley referred to may be Kidron near Jerusalem. 4. The outcome. 3:13 through 17. A. There will be a great harvest. B. The day of the Lord is described 1. As near in this valley of decision. 2. In which the heavenly bodies are diminished and shaken. C. While God's people find shelter and strength in him. D. The Lord will be known to dwell in Zion, Jerusalem, forever remaining holy. C. What shall come to pass in that day? 3:18 through 21. 1. Judea shall be blessed by a fountain from the house of the Lord. 3:18. 2. Egypt and Edom will be desolate because of their violence. 3:19. 3. Judah and Jerusalem shall abide forever, acquitted of their guilt. 3:20 through 21. Such is the prophetic message of Joel. What he says is clear enough. What he means is something else. Interpreting Joel's prophecy. A. There are 3 key phrases. 1. It shall come to pass afterward. 2:28. A. This period of time is clearly defined by Peter in Acts 2:14 through 21. B. In which he applies it to the events of the day of Pentecost. 2. In those days and at that time. 3:1. A. The same period of time as described in 2:28 through 32. B. At some point during the Messianic age. 3. In that day. 3:18. A. The context places this after the day of the Lord. B. At some point during the Messianic age, but not until after the judgment of the nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat. B. Determining the time and events. 1. Certainly 2:28 and 29 refers to a period beginning with the events described in Acts 2. A. Peter said, this is what was spoken by the prophet Joel, Acts 2:16. B. An inspired statement pinpointing to when this prophecy began to be fulfilled. 2. However, there are different opinions regarding Joel 2:30 through 3:21. A. The day of the Lord in 2:30 and 31 is variously interpreted as 1. The destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. 2. The final coming of the Lord. B. The judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat in 3:1 through 17 is variously interpreted as 1. Figuratively by some, literal by others. 2. Referring to no specific judgment by some. 3. Referring to a specific judgment at some time by others. 1. After the destruction of Jerusalem in 7 AD. 2. The Battle of Armageddon prior to the millennium, Revelation 16:14 through 16. 3. The battle after the millennium described in Revelation 20:7 through 10. C. Various views are also offered for the blessing of Judah and Jerusalem in 3:18 through 21. With such differences in interpretation, one should not be dogmatic. C. Here is my own understanding of 2:30 through 3:21. 1. The passage is not to be taken literally. A. It would be physically impossible for all the nations to gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat. 3:2 and 12. B. The valley of Arcadius is located on the other side of the Jordan River, making it geographically impossible to be watered by the stream from Jerusalem. 3:18. 2. This passage speaks in terms meaningful and comforting to Israelites in Joel's day. A. The prophecy was initially given to comfort them, to give them hope for the future. B. Therefore, prophetic elements are described in terms to which they could relate. 1. Deliverance in their capital, Jerusalem, 2:32. 2. Judgment upon those enemies who oppress them, 3:1 through 8. 3. Desolation of such enemies as Edom and Egypt, 3:19. 4. Blessings to befall the nation and the land, 3:18, 20 through 21. 3. But it refers to spiritual realities fulfilled with the coming of the Messiah. A. Salvation and deliverance will indeed come out of Zion and Jerusalem, 2:32, with Luke 24:44 through 47, and Hebrews 12:20 through 24. B. God will judge the enemies of his people, 3:1 through 17, with Revelation 4:20. Also see Revelation 20:7 through 10. In the end, God's people will prosper, and the wicked will be desolate, 3:18 through 21, with Revelation 21 through 22, especially Revelation 22:1 and 2. 4. It is true whether or not any particular event is referred to in this passage. 1. I lean toward the view that the day of the Lord in this passage is the final judgment when the Lord comes again. B. Others think that it refers to the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Whatever one's interpretation, the application is the same. 1. The means and source of salvation, the Lord himself, 2:32. 2. The day of the Lord is coming. A terrible day for the wicked, 3:14 through 16. B. But for God's people there is shelter and strength, 3:16. C. And in the end, blessings for the people of God while their enemies lie desolate, 3:18 through 21. Conclusion. 1. In studying the minor prophets, A. Determining the proper interpretation is certainly a worthy goal. B. But determining the proper application is our essential task. 2. If this be true, then the crucial question is this: have we found that salvation, deliverance, shelter, and strength which only the Lord can provide when the final day of the Lord comes? To know where to look, one should carefully read Peter's sermon on the day of Pentecost after he had quoted Joel, Acts 2:22 through 39. This ends our study of the book of Joel.